Would you rather have Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota?
I'd rather have Mariota, only because I think Mariota protects the ball better. You know, when you watch Jameis in college, he was carefree with the ball. That interception yesterday against Seattle was as bad an interception at the most critical time of a game that you're going to see. And to me, that just always has been the case with Jameis. He throws the ball, and I want quarterbacks who are going to take some chances, but I don't want one who's going to take dumb chances. And I think he takes some dumb chances. Mariota, I think, is consistent. You know what you get when he plays. He's very athletic. I'm not even sure he's hit the tip of the iceberg offensively of what he can become, because I think once they get better skill around him, I think he could even improve his game. So for me, the consistency factor, knowing what I'm going to get week in and week out, I would prefer Mariota.
I'm taking Jameis because I think he has a high degree of difficulty. You look at the division, he plays in the best quarterback division in football. He got the number one pick in the draft, Cam Newton, who was the reigning MVP. He has Drew Brees also still playing at the top of his game. 4 5,000-yard passing season. He was twice Offensive Player of the Year. And he also has Matt Ryan, who's a top 3 quarterback. So his degree of difficulty of what he has to do week in and week out in that division is second to none. And you look at Mariota, he has to go against Brock Osweiler, Blake Bortles, and an Andrew Luck who misses more time than he plays. I like Jameis. I believe both of these guys are leaders, but they lead in different ways. Mariota is more lead by example. Watch the way I play. Look at how I study. This is what I want you to do. Jameis is also going to do that, but he's going to tell you, hey, it's time to ride tonight, dog.
Yep, he will.
We got to go do this. I mean, I know everybody's talking about Seattle and that defense, but we about to do these boys today. And Gerald McCoy, who was the de facto face of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise, he said, Jameis, it's time for you to give the fire and brimstone speeches. It's time for you to take leadership of the. You're the guy now. I'm stepping to the back. It's all on your plate. And he hasn't disappointed me. I'm taking Jameis Winston.
This is going to be a 2-against-1 here. I was Jameis before that draft, and I'm more than ever on Jameis over Mariota. And maybe it's more intangibles than tangibles, because I'm with you. Jameis is born leader. I'm not sure the other kid is. He's quiet, he's withdrawn, he's reserved. I'm talking about Mariota. Coach's dream. Do whatever you tell him to do. He's going to show up on time. He's going to work hard and practice. He's going to do it exactly the way you tell him to do it. But when it's time to make the play, I'm going to trust Jameis more. I think he has more it factor than Mariota does. The problem with Jameis is the eye test, it's tough, because you look at Jameis, and he's awkward. He's awkward throwing the ball. He's awkward running with the ball. But he's unathletically athletic, or however you want to look at it. He's still athletic, even though he doesn't look athletic while he's moving. And even though he's not the most eloquent speaker, everybody I know who's around him says he has extreme football IQ, chalkboard IQ. He can really go up and detail it. He can spit it back to you quickly. He knows every position. He knows. He has that thing about him, and I'm going to bet on him long term, even though Mariota's had a nice run. Listen, Mariota is highly capable of pick sixes and fumbles returned for touchdowns. He's got a bunch of them over his career, and I don't know why, but when you least expect it, he will come apart. And I know Jameis will have high interception games. I agree with you, the throw that Cam picked off in the back of the end zone. It was just a bad idea. They had gotten an awful penalty, like a phantom hands to the face. I was like, what?
That cost him a touchdown.
It did, a cost, because he'd already thrown a touchdown pass, right? And then he tries again, and he tries too hard. I don't know what he was. He threw it up. Was Mike Evans over there?
That's all he throws to.
Yeah. Well, it's all he's got, right?
No,
it's sort of Mike Evans or bust, right?
No, I give him credit for that. I mean, look, Mike Evans has proven that he's a tremendous receiver. He's clearly a #1 receiver, and Jameis has done. But this is what Jameis did at Florida State. Jameis throws interceptions. Jameis has those Brett Favre-type games where he throws really well and then he makes mistakes. For me, the consistency factor, and the game I watched yesterday wasn't Jameis dominating the game. It was this Tampa Bay defense being able to just harass Russell Wilson to where he couldn't really move, and it was the Seattle bad offensive line that we saw in September and October came back to haunt him again. So I think, look, Mariota struggles with, he's got a really good running game. He's got 2 running backs. They want to feed him. They don't have a lot of skill on the outside. Kendall Wright's their best outside receiver. They really don't have a sophisticated, not that Jameis has great skill around him. Let's face it, the tight ends and all that. But But I do think you get a consistent game out of Mariota. And if I'm going to go with somebody on the long term, I'm going to go with consistency, because I don't want in a critical game that throw that he makes against the Seattle. I don't want that throw. I can't live with that.